Hi, it's Anne Wilson, and I'm here in Bournemouth in the UK. I'm in a hotel room, and shortly I'm going to be getting up on stage for a speaking gig that I'm doing down here before I head up to London. And I've just come back from having an amazing diving holiday with my husband. And just preparing and thinking about the speaking gig tonight, I was thinking about a specific story that I was going to be sharing. I thought, you know what, I'd love to share this with you. In this amazing empire, an incredibly rich and abundant empire, there was a specific emperor who had mastered the art of achievement, had created incredible wealth for himself and his entire empire, and full of riches and supplies and diamonds and gold, and it just flowed abundantly. And he really felt himself incredibly successful and knew that he could still expand this empire and get more. Well, one day he walked out of the empire, out of his castle, his place that he was staying, with some of his entourage. And as they walked out, there was a beggar sitting at the entrance. And he was feeling in a pretty good mood, so he turned to this beggar and said, what do you want? And the beggar looked up and said, you say that as though you can fulfill my desire. And the emperor was a bit offended. He said, well, of course I can. I'm the emperor. I can do anything. I'm exceptionally wealthy. Of course I can fulfill your desire. What is it? What is it that you want? And the beggar said, be careful what you promise. And again, the emperor was a bit taken aback, and he said, for heaven's sake, I can absolutely fulfill anything you desire. What is it? Just ask. He said, okay, it's just simple. All I ask is that you fill this bowl. And he handed up and held up a bowl that he was holding in his hand. But what the emperor didn't realize, and he didn't recognize, that this beggar was actually his spiritual teacher from his past life, his master, who had promised to come in this life to waken him, to clarify and show him the way. And he had promised him in the previous life that although in that lifetime the opportunity had passed to be awakened to the truth of life and abundance, he would come back in this life and really give him a lesson and share with him and help him to awaken. So not seeing this, the emperor said, what do you want? Absolutely, we can fill that bowl. And he called his purser and said, go, get some gold and fill this man's bowl. The guy scuttled off and came back with a big bag of gold and started pouring it into the bowl. But as fast as he poured it in, the gold just disappeared. This bowl just wouldn't fill. In it went. And so he poured more in, and the gold just disappeared. And the emperor started getting a bit frustrated and said, well, go and get more. Open up the treasuries. Go and get the diamonds and the emeralds and the pearls. We've got to fill that bowl. I will not be outdone. I can fulfill this desire. And so it happened. And now a crowd started gathering as they saw what was happening and started watching this. And soon it was full of excitement and buzz, but the crowd got quieter and quieter as this bowl just never filled. No matter what was poured into it, the bowl stayed empty. And the day passed, and the treasuries were getting emptier and emptier, and every vault was emptying. And as the day started drawing to the close, the crowd was absolutely silent, as there was almost nothing left. And the emperor eventually dropped to the beggar's knees and said, okay, I give up. You win. I cannot fulfill your desire. There's no way I can fill this bowl. It's already drained everything out of me. But tell me, before you go, what is the secret of this bowl? And the beggar turned to him and said, there is no secret. All it is, this bowl is simply made up of all of human desire. So here's the thing. If your goal for financial freedom, if your goal for financial liberation, abundance, is in order to meet every human desire, it is an endless, bottomless pit that can never be satiated. Here as humans, we have an endless capacity to still see the gap, to see something more. There'll always be somebody or something who has more, or another experience, or another toy, or another wardrobe, or another handbag, or another home that we could possibly desire. That is not your goal. That is not the goal of this. This absolutely is to be abundantly supported and joyful. we've got to get absolutely clear of what is wealthy for us, what is our truth in terms of the life that we want to live and experience. And the sooner we can align with that and be absolutely congruent, we can learn how to move beyond this reactive desire of filling this endless bowl. Because if that is all you seek to fulfill, it's going to be a bottomless pit that you never can ever satiate. So I hope you enjoyed that story. I'd love to have your views and what you feel that story may or may not mean for you or in your life. And if you're watching this anywhere else but at thewellchef.com, pop over there and leave me a comment. And love to just keep this conversation and keep this journey of helping and sharing with others to create this financial liberation and actually step into true wealth where we're all absolutely living our absolute greatest version of our lives. So for now, go out, keep living a rich, juicy life, absolutely on your terms.